Good morning and welcome to another instructional how-to video for Mechwarrior Online. Today we're going to take a look at a few things. This is not going to be a long video, but I do want to cover a couple of topics. One is ping times. This was asked by a viewer, so I figured I'd cover it briefly, although there are certain things I cannot show you right now due to, I guess, server lockouts, as they're doing a server maintenance later today, I believe. So the first one under ping times is that your current ping times, when you go into a game, you can see that your ping time is what it is, the launch screen. It'll show you beside your name just before the game launches what your ping is at, what other players' pings are at. A good ping would be sub 100. Actually, that's a great ping. 100 to 200 is an okay ping, and anything above that, you're going to start seeing particling effects and jittering and possibly even some stuttering in your targets and or your weapons fire. You pull the trigger and it won't happen right away. This happens mostly if you're playing on distant servers such as Oceanic or European servers. You can normally choose this button up here right beside Quick Play, click it, and it would drop down the list of servers you can choose from. For some reason it's locked out right now. I don't know why. Maybe I am brain farting and there's another way to do it, but anyway, that's where you would choose it. You would see here there's a percentage of queued players who have selected that region. North America obviously the highest, European second, tied for second, but the ping times are different. So I have 29 millisecond ping slide in North America, 128 in Europe, and 276 in Oceanic. So if I were to drop into an Oceanic match, my ping would be 276. That's functional, but if the other target I'm trying to hit is 400, 500 or more, which does happen, he may not be exactly where I am shooting or very close to it. I could be shooting left torso, I'll hit left arm, or a hit won't register, something along those lines. In any case, that pretty much covers that right now. I can't show you much more to do with pinging, but that is one way to do it. You can simply unqueue Oceanic or European servers and play North American, or vice versa. If you're in Europe, take off North American servers. Another thing I wanted to mention that one of my subscribers brought up in one of my videos, and I am very guilty of it, is overloading on ammo. When you put a mech together, often you want to make sure you don't run out of ammo in combat. That's just that's a big no-no. So let's just bring up the Thunderbolt, which is what I was using yesterday, and I have it now fixed. Yesterday I could even lower it even further, but yesterday I had a lighter engine in here. I did not have an AMS. I had 6 tons of UAC ammo, which is a lot, especially when you've got the extra ammo skills unlocked. I could even reduce this to 3, which would probably last most of the match anyway, and go with an even larger engine. But I found after the suggestions made by one of my subs, I changed it to this, and the mech works so much better. So thank you for that, and that's something to point out. Don't overload on ammo. If you're an LRM strongbow, you do want a few extra tons of ammo in there, of course. If you're missile solely, you want to make sure you have enough to last a match. The best way to do it is start with 4 tons. Play a game. If you run out, add a ton. Play it with a heat sink. Take a heat sink out, put an extra ton of ammo in, or vice versa. If you find you're ending the match with 1,000+ rounds of ammo, take a ton out. See if that works. Extra tonnage gives you extra advantages in extra areas, and I want to thank the subscriber for pointing that out to me. I am guilty of it, and I will certainly look forward to changing that on my mechs in the future. Another one to look at is chain fire versus all fire in a single weapon set. So let's just take us into battleground and testing grounds here, excuse me. And we're going to load River City for testing grounds, just to take a look at how to set up chain fire. Now, everyone's button configuration is going to be different. You can be using the default loadouts for your settings. The array control key and the arrow keys by default will move and choose your different weapon groups. So when you're in game, this is how you would do a chain fire setup on your weapon loads. And yes, I'm taking forever to load here. 1 second. All right, so here we go. So you notice I have 3 weapon groups. I have Ultra AC-10 on weapon group 1, medium lasers on weapon group 2, and I've still got a medium laser again on weapon group 3. Why? Because that medium laser and the Ultra AC-10 are in the arms. That gives me more flexibility for stuff like shooting down UAVs. If I shoot my torso-mounted weapons up, like if I'm pointing up here where the circle is, and I shoot my weapon group 2, you'll see one laser will go up high, and the rest will go down low. That's because of torso versus arm. So if you want to have a group for weapons alone in the arm, you want to have a third weapon group. Using the arrow keys, you can go back and forth like this to choose, and using the control key, you can select or deselect that weapon. Alright, if you want to chain fire, so let's say I want to chain fire, so right now my medium lasers are set to fire together. Notice they all fire together. If I want to chain fire this, it's the backspace key. Again, all of this can be learned in the academy and testing and training grounds. I'm just making some pointers here. So if I hit the backspace key, you now see that weapon group 2 is flashing. That means that my weapons, if I hold down my weapon group key, will fire in that order. It also means that I can single fire at my own pace. So I can do this, okay, which generates a little less heat than an alpha strike. So I can time it differently. And that covers that. Also, when you are setting up a mech in the mech lab itself, let me get back to there. You can that is where you primarily set up your weapon group. So you're not spending the beginning of a game fiddling with controls and frantically trying to get everything organized while your allies are walking away from you and leaving you behind. So make sure, once you've set up your mech, that you go into your mech lab and you go over to weapon groups on the left side over here. Weapon groups, and you can notice the same weapon configuration as stored. The only thing you can't do in here is set the chain fire. So you set your weapon groups and you click save. And that's how you cover that. That covers some of the controls I wanted to cover today. The only other thing I wanted to cover is how to import and export builds. If you want to fiddle around with stuff, you don't want to keep constantly taking stuff in and out of game. What you can do, or for example, if you have a build that you like and you want to give it to a friend, okay, you go into your mech lab, and down here under loadout profile, you click export. It has a build code that has been copied to my keyboard. Okay. Next, I will go to here we go. Mech. No, it's not it. Here we go. MechDB. And in here, I've loaded the page to its defaults. But what I can do is go to import MWO, paste, submit, and there's my Thunderbolt. I can then fiddle with this outside the game. I can save and load. I can save and share. If I save and share, this now gives me a prettier build URL that I can use to share with friends. So I can simply put that in a browser and it simply loads up. So I hope this was helpful for some of the pointers in game for those of you starting out. I know this is an older game, but there are still a lot of new players coming into it. And I think these are little things that can be annoying, especially with the menus being as clunky as they are at times. Little things that can help. Again, I strongly suggest going to the testing grounds, the academy, and doing, so I have keys that are set differently, therefore it's going to give me an error. If you have your keys set up properly, you can go into the academy and tutorials and learn a lot of this stuff in there. This is a how-to video for Mechwarrior Online. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it was helpful. Please subscribe.